In the vast expanse of the savannah, a young elephant calf found itself cornered, surrounded by a formidable pride of lions. The lions advanced with a slow, deliberate grace, their powerful bodies forming a crescent that effectively cut off any chance of escape for the frightened calf. With nowhere to run, the little elephant trembled, sensing the gravity of its predicament. 6 male lions, the apex of strength and ferocity, stood shoulder to shoulder, their golden eyes fixed on their prey. Overwhelmed by fear, the calf tumbled onto its back, emitting a desperate cry that echoed through the air, "Stay with us," as the true nature of courage is about to unfold. To grasp the weight of this moment, we must first understand the staggering odds against this vulnerable creature. The scene played out against a backdrop of sweeping green grasslands dotted with acacia trees, their branches reaching toward the blue sky. The lions, majestic and imposing, stood poised not in a frenzy of chaos, but in a calm display of dominance. For those familiar with the savannah, this was a rare sight, a coalition of 6 male lions pooling their strength. Typically reserved for asserting territory or challenging rival prides, the unspoken rule among predators is that they only exert such collective effort when the potential reward outweighs the risks involved. In this case, the lone elephant calf represented a substantial reward with minimal defenses, making it the perfect target for a show of force. It was a chilling testament to predator patience. From a distance, Ranger Jelani observed the unfolding drama through his binoculars. As an experienced conservationist, he had witnessed the raw, unrelenting reality of nature countless times, yet the sight before him sent a wave of dread coursing through his veins. He understood the unwritten rules of the wild. Human intervention could escalate the situation, transforming a calculated siege into a chaotic and violent confrontation. His hands gripped the metal frame of his binoculars, a physical manifestation of his internal conflict. He felt paralyzed, caught between the moral dilemma of intervention and the potential consequences of inaction. The tension weighed heavily upon him. Helplessness gripped his heart as he watched the tiny elephant calf, fear radiating from its every trembling feature. The presence of the powerful lions loomed large, and the unnatural silence of the savannah heightened the anticipation of violence. This paralysis was perhaps the most difficult aspect of his duty. Take a moment to reflect. What would you do if you were in Jelani's position? Jelani was acutely aware that any hope for rescue would need to come from an outside force. Then, as he scanned the horizon, a glimmer of hope emerged. A distant dust cloud hinted at the determined approach of a large herd of elephants. This was not the calves' immediate family, but the collective response of an entire species bound by deep familial ties. The high-pitched trumpet of the isolated elephant calf, a sound infused with urgency, had reached the ears of the herd's matriarch. The matriarch was old and wise, her body marked by the scars of countless savannah battles. She faced a profound moral quandary, the weight of which was not lost on her. Her primary duty was to ensure the safety of her own herd, particularly the young. Yet, the distress call of an orphaned calf, regardless of lineage, triggered a protective instinct ingrained in the very fabric of elephant society. In a pivotal moment, the matriarch paused, her massive ears fanning out as she processed the danger. Every instinct screamed caution, urging her to veer away from the confrontation with the lions. However, the echo of the calf's cry weighed heavier than the fear of the formidable predators. With a resolute decision, she turned her herd toward the impending danger, committing them to an unknown conflict. This choice was far from instinctual. It was an act of radical compassion. It spoke volumes about the value of every life within the ecosystem, demonstrating that the instinct to protect transcends bloodlines. Would the matriarch risk the safety of her entire herd for one vulnerable calf? The answer to that question would challenge everything we think we know about the dynamics of African wildlife. As the matriarch led her herd closer, the lions sensed the shifting tide. The moment of silent confrontation was drawing to a close. The tipping point was nigh, and it would be resolved by either a force of nature or an act of defiance from the smallest of creatures. As the elephants approached, the 6 lions began to shift their formidable formation. Their attention divided between the frightened calf and the incoming herd. In this brief moment of distraction, the elephant calf seized its chance. Fueled by a surge of adrenaline, it stopped crying and, with unsteady legs, managed to scramble back to its feet. Instead of retreating or freezing in fear, the little calf faced the nearest lion and emitted a tiny, squeaky trumpet. It was a sound that paled in comparison to the roar of the matriarch, yet it was a declaration of defiance. This act, born from pure desperation, marked a crucial psychological shift. The prey had chosen defiance over surrender, introducing a variable of confusion into the predator's calculated plan. Lions are programmed to expect flight or capitulation, not a sudden challenge from a mere calf. In that moment, the elephant calf's audacity shifted the balance. Momentarily holding the attention of the 6 kings of the savannah, the matriarch's heavy footsteps thundered closer, the ground shaking with her resolve. The lions glanced from the calf to the advancing force and back to one another, uncertainty creeping into their ranks. In the next 30 seconds, everything would change. What transpired defied logic and instinct, overturning the established rules of the savannah. The climactic moment arrived not with a roar, but with a silent understanding. The matriarch charged forward, tusks lowered, embodying the essence of protective fury. Yet, just as the collision appeared imminent, the lions made a surprising choice. Instead of scattering in panic, they turned in unison, retreating with dignity while maintaining their formation. The pride of lions walked away, their tails lowered but heads held high. They recognized that the risk to their dominance and physical well-being was no longer worth the fleeting reward of the calf. It was a tactical withdrawal, a statement that sometimes the strongest move is to choose peace over conflict. The matriarch halted, dust rising around her massive legs, serving as a sentinel for the trembling figure of the calf. She lowered her trunk, gently encircling the little one, offering a low rumble of acceptance. The calf leaned into her, the horror of its earlier predicament replaced by the warmth of newfound protection. Ranger Jelani, who had been holding his breath for what felt like an eternity, finally exhaled. As he dropped his binoculars, a tear traced a clean path through the dust on his cheek. This story was not simply about a rescue. It was a powerful testament to the nature of resolution. The conclusion was not defined by bloody conflict, but by a delicate balance of respect, courage, and solidarity. The lions had chosen self-preservation, while the matriarch embodied compassion. In life, there is profound wisdom in knowing when to fight and when to walk away. The ultimate lesson here is the unyielding connection of the natural world. You are never truly alone if a matriarch, or someone like her, hears your cry. If this incredible story of empathy and tactical wisdom in the wild moved you, please subscribe for more powerful narratives from the heart of the savannah. Your support helps share these vital stories that remind us all of the bonds that exist in the wild and the strength found in compassion.